The fuck is an in-betweenisode?
An in-betweenisode? You know the in-betweenisode? An episode that goes in between the main episodes.
What?
I feel like I've broken your brain. So we have episode like 3, 4, 5, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we have episode 3, then we have hey, we haven't talked about the challenges in a while because the last episode was in Portland. Maybe we record that now because the last episode was in Portland in person. We wanted to bring you all up to date. Here's a little thing about the challenges. We'll be back next week with Rob Abelo. Hey guys, welcome to Dropped. This week, what we have is a special bonus episode. We call it a little bit of an in-betweenisode. This goes between episodes 3 and episodes 4. Episode 3, we were together in Portland. You may remember at Greg's place, we discussed songwriting and we answered a Q&A that our listeners had given us on songwriting. And it all got a little bit leery with a bottle of wine. Things got broken, but it was a lot of fun. And next week, we have Mr. Rob Abelo, our very, very first guest on the podcast. He's a bit of a music industry expert. He's worked on the side of the labels, gathered a ton of knowledge and brought it back to share it with the artists. So we look forward to that. For now, we wanted to bring you up to date on challenges, how our challenges have gone so far, and what we hope to really gain from the challenges side of this podcast. Something that kind of started off as just a little additional idea that we wanted to stitch on the end. And now, due to your feedback, is becoming more of a central piece of what we're doing here. So keep that feedback coming. And if you guys think of any challenges, that would be good. Maybe we'll start to take some challenges from you guys at some point. For now, enjoy this special episode on challenges.
2 episodes ago, Matt challenged me to do something, and then I promptly challenged him back.
Right back, yeah.
We couldn't review it in episode 3 because episode 3 we were actually together in person, and it was a little bit of a different episode style. But let's talk about it, Matt.
Yeah. How'd it go? How did yours go? I'm so excited to hear how yours went.
Well, Matt challenged me to go outside into nature and record a video of myself singing, which as soon as he challenged me that, I felt sick because I'm not good at, I don't like attention unless I'm on stage, believe it or not. Or unless let me rephrase that, unless I'm in the appropriate setting for attention. I don't like just being that guy in the middle of the street that's going to start singing and everyone looks at him. I've never been the guy at the party that plays Wonderwall. It makes me want to throw up too. Matt has though.
Yeah, I was getting paid for it.
And so anyway, it made me deeply uncomfortable, and I procrastinated literally until yesterday.
Wow. You left it that long.
I left it that late.
What did you just stare at trees every day and think, nah, I can't do it?
I was like, how do I get out of this? How do I not do this? And then and then it got to the point where I was like, I'm going to have to do this. I have to go do this. And so yesterday I got in my car and I drove around looking for places to film. And then I got to this beautiful park near my house called Tryon Creek. And there was a lot of people there, and I panicked and I drove home and I recorded the whole thing in my back garden. And then I thought, why did I even get in my car? I live in a forest. I should have just recorded it in my back garden. The terms of the contract weren't to go embarrass myself in front of a bunch of people. It was just to record in nature, and I fucking live in nature. I don't know why I put myself through that fear. But then I realized I didn't want to put my neighbors through my singing. So I sang really quietly. I put myself in amongst all these trees and I recorded myself singing a new song from my new album that's going to come out in a few months.
I'm glad I pushed you out of your comfort zone a little bit. I'm glad you felt uncomfortable.
You pushed me out of my comfort zone and then I promptly squirmed back into my comfort zone.
Yeah, but not quite though. That's the important thing. I think it's funny that you drove around and then went, no, I drove home.
I actually filmed the whole thing too, so at some point we'll post it. Maybe I may have already posted it by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, we're gonna step up our coverage of the challenges and the way that we tie that into our Instagram page and our kind of other channels over the course of the series. It's been a lot to work out, just two of us making a podcast, but we're hoping to get to a point where we can read like everything. No matter where you go, you see one stage of the process. But yeah, that's really cool.
It's
Greg.
ever evolving.
It is ever evolving.
How did yours go, Matt? I mean,
no, let's not move on yet, Greg. Let's stick the spotlight firmly on you.
Okay.
Yeah, so you went out in your garden. I mean, luckily you live in a forest, as you said. So
Yes.
it does tick all the boxes. You've learned something there. I've definitely learned something. What I've learned is be way more specific with the legal wording of the rules of the challenges in future.
Yeah, sure.
But to be fair, I just said, go out. I'm pretty sure I said go out in nature and record a video because the algorithm likes that. I shouldn't have said the algorithm likes that. I think what I should have said is people like that. You know, all the algorithm is a reflection of people. People scroll and they go dingy, boring. Oh, nice trees. What's this guy doing in the trees? And they might watch it for a bit longer, and hopefully that gets you a little bit further and gets you to a few more people. Well done. I'm looking forward to hearing it. I'm sure it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I forgot a guitar strap. I say I forgot a guitar strap because I was at my house, but I was already so uncomfortable. I was like, I just need to get this done. And I didn't go and get a guitar strap. But anyway, Matt, I know that you're in Sicily right now, and I think I saw something that you posted a few days ago of when you recorded your challenge, and it looked stunning.
I've been pretty lucky to be on the island of Sicily while I've been trying to think of where to do this challenge. I did have to pivot a little bit.
You did?
I did.
Tell me about it, though. Tell me about your challenge. How did it go? Because I basically challenged Matt right back and said, you need to go out in Sicily and do the same thing.
Yeah, I think you might have even said go out into Palermo because that's where I was at the time. But
that's right.
I'll tell you why I couldn't do that. I went out into Palermo and I scouted locations.
Fear of death.
Fear of death. Yeah. Yeah, I went out into Palermo. I scouted some beautiful locations. I shared them on Instagram, and I was like, I did a whole poll of like, which one should I go to? A, B, C, or D. Actually, I said, which one should I go to? Should I go to location 1, location B, location C, or location D?
Oh my God.
I just completely forgot that I'd started with a number system and then I switched to a letter system.
Nice job.
I like to blame that on the fact that the issue was that, unbeknownst to me, I was coming down with a little dose of the old COVID, and on the day that I was supposed to start filming, I couldn't even get out of bed, and that lingered around for a couple of weeks. So it kind of ruined my time in Palermo as far as shooting videos went. So then I had a look around when I was in Trapani, which was the next location, and that was beautiful, very busy. But I went to a temple called Segesta, which is 2,500 years old. And
fake news.
The world's not even that old, right? And we were walking around, and I had my guitar. I brought my guitar. It was in the boot of the car, just in case. And as soon as I got there, I was like, no, too many people. Oh, I don't want to bother them. Oh, also, there's a security gate. They'll never let me through with my guitar. Oh, well, better luck next time. We'll have to try tomorrow. And the whole time I was with my wife, Sula, and she was like, you could totally do it here. It'll be fine. They won't mind at all. Just get your guitar. I was like, no. Wouldn't want to bother them. No. It's fine. So we were walking around this agricultural temple park, and we were getting further and further into it, realizing how relaxed it was and how much space there was between the groups of people. And I was like, do you think I could get my guitar? So I ran back to the car, and I ran back to the car, and I grabbed my guitar out of the boot, and I kind of snuck it in. I like put it on my back like a backpack, but upside down, so that like it wasn't like a guitar sticking up above my head. It was like hanging down, and I just like walked straight past them. I'm very sneaky. It's a little tip for you in future, guys, especially if you're boarding a plane. That's a good way to do it. And I walked up the hill to where the ruins that we were looking at next were, and found this beautiful spot, and we just did it. Sula filmed it, and
you just looked at everybody and you were like, anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Yeah, I was like, anyway, here's Mr. Brightside. Coming out of my cage, and I do it. And I just started, I played the song, and there was a few groups of people came past, and when I finished playing the song, I got a little round of applause.
Wow, you got a round of applause. I didn't get one of those.
And I ended up getting the bug and being like, this is fine. People want me to play. And we walked into this Greek amphitheater, again, 2,500 years old. And I was like, imagine what it would be like to play on that stage that it's just hosted so many performances over all that time. And when I got to the bottom of the steps, like into the like stage area platform of this amphitheater, I saw there was a security guard like over to the left. So I went over to them and in broken Italian, I was like,
Scusi.
Scusi, posso io suonare una canzone? Per favore. Excuse me, please, can I sing a song? You want to sing? I was like, yeah. She said, yes, please sing a song.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
I stepped out onto this amphitheater. There was probably like 15, 20 people there. And
but 50,000 ghosts.
Exactly. Probably more. And I played them a song, and when I finished, they asked for more, so I played them another song.
Oh, that's so awesome, man.
And it was just, the thing with that is, like, Sula recorded it, but because the sun was so bright on the screen, she couldn't see the framing, so like the video is not really usable, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter, because that moment was more about the moment. That was like,
yeah, you had that experience, man.
How has that happened? Like, how have I got to this point where I'm like, just out of pure don't ask, don't get, I'm standing in the middle of a 2,500-year-old amphitheater performing 2 songs, like getting asked for an encore, and the sound was obviously, because they're designed for acoustics. Yeah. The sound was just traveling, and it's just, I'm unplugged. It was a really beautiful moment, and then we caught another little session as the sun went down, which I think will be the session, and that was just me sat among some like ruins and pillars and things.
Challenges or no challenges, that's really cool that you had that experience. It's funny, as Brit, I don't know if it's a Brit thing or if it's just someone who actually has some shame, is that it's so hard to go do that in public, I think, because you do, I mean, I think Matt and I are very similar. As Northern British people, I think we're taught as kids to not stand out, not make any noise, not make a fuss, sit down and shut up, basically. And so it's really hard to go into a public place and do stuff like that. And I find it even harder now, just because the culture of the influencer is so disgusting to me. It's so annoying and intrusive into other people's lives. You see it everywhere now. That it's worse now. Because I remember like 10, 15 years ago when I lived in New York City, we would do all these sessions, like called the subway sessions and stuff, where like a film crew would, like 2-person film crew would take one of us down to the subway and we'd sing. But it was kind of rare. Like, you didn't see that all the time. People weren't filming themselves all the time. So it was like a little bit, I was still, don't get me wrong, I was still really embarrassed in those moments. But you did feel like you were doing something cool. But now it's just like everybody does that all the time. And so it's just annoying. That's why I think this challenge was even harder for me, because as soon as I saw those people at the park the other day, I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm on a Sunday afternoon going to go interrupt these guys' peaceful walks in the park by singing a song.
I have that same thought process, and I think there's something really wrong with it, because I think that, like, if I was walking my dog and I came across you sitting on a tuffet, like Little Miss Muffet, with your guitar, and you played a beautiful little gentle acoustic song, that would be amazing. I'd be like, that would enhance my walk. And I think,
would it?
Yeah, if you were standing there, like if you were doing the Northern Shame,
yes,
you're like punk metal project, that might be a bit out of place on my Sunday afternoon dog walk. But I think that what I did, it was nice that I asked respectfully whether I could. But yeah. I think everyone was sitting there peacefully, like enjoying this amphitheater, and I think because I can sing and play a song, and I enhanced their experience. I think if I'd been like, and now another 55 minutes of my back catalogue, then I would have crossed the line. But like one song, and I was done at one song, and then they were like, one more, please.
I think I'm too cynical. I think if I saw you playing in the street while I was walking, I'd be like, I need to throw something at that guy.
Really? Some coins, hopefully. 20
maybe some coins, but like at your head. I'm so cynical at this point. Because I just think now that everyone's doing everything for attention, so I look at it differently, and it's a really shitty attitude. But I would be like, God, look at that fucking idiot trying to get attention. He's probably just trying to go viral. That's where my brain would go, and I hate that. And maybe not with you though, because your voice is so amazing that I probably would be like, wow, that guy's actually pretty legit. I'm still going to throw something at him, but good job to that guy.
Until it hits his head, I'm going to enjoy it. Yeah, I think there is a difference between taking over a space and dominating it for too long, and like an age-old thing like music and storytelling, which has added to people's lives for millennia. There is a difference. It's
Fake
not
news.
the same. It's not the same. It's not the same.
No.
And the good thing about this challenge and these challenges is they can progressively push us out of our comfort zones and remind us of that.
By episode 8, Matt's going to be like, Greg needs to skydive out of a plane. And this whole podcast just becomes about like doing the most insane. We stop talking about the music industry. It's great.
Greg needs to board a jet, like an airliner that he doesn't have a ticket for, with his guitar and ground the plane until he's played his debut album. And at least 10 people on board have bought a vinyl from him.
Oh my God.
But it's nice that it pushes us out of our comfort zone. And I think it's reminded me of like, this is what I do. Like, this is what I should be doing. And just to add to that, like coming off the back of that challenge, I had this big conversation yesterday in this bar with my wife, and I was talking about like a lot of what we talk about in this podcast, like the way the industry's going and what a shit show it is, and how tough it's been at times. And she was kind of reminding me of like, I think you just have to get back to just playing for the fun of it again, and like stop counting metrics and enjoying it. And at the end of the night, I went to pay for the drinks. And as I was paying for the drinks, I started chatting to the barman, asking him about the place and saying what a great vibe it was. It was this amazing little cocktail bar, great talking atmosphere, amazing music all night. And he was like, yeah, it's my favorite place. It's my favorite bar in Syracuse. If I didn't work here, I'd come here to relax. It's mostly important that you leave your troubles outside and you just enjoy the space. And I saw there was a piano to my right. And I was just in making conversation. I was like, do you have live music here? Like, when do you have live music on? Oh, no, only when someone plays. And I was like, okay. And he looked at me and was like, you play, don't you? You play. And I was like, no, well, I play a little, I sing a bit. He was like, you definitely play. Play us a song, play us a song. And before I knew it, he'd stopped the music. This guy's going to play us a song.
Oh,
and I was like, shit.
God.
And I sat at this piano, and straight away I thought, this is going to be sort of tune. So I played around a few chords, and it was perfectly in tune. It was beautiful.
That's awesome.
And I just started playing a song, and I played Awake, and everybody was silent throughout. The whole bar went silent.
Mate,
and
that's
then I
amazing.
finished, and everyone gave me this really nice round of applause, and the barman offered me some tequila shots and all of that. And then I'd already paid, and I just went with my wife and my dog and left, and was like, thanks everyone. That's kind of like magical.
Amazing. That's so amazing.
No, but I don't know.
I would have talked myself out of it. I'd have been like, no. Sorry, thanks for the offer, but no. Probably. Who knows? I mean, I guess until you're in that position.
Yeah. What would you like just talking more on these challenges, what would you like to get from doing these challenges across this series and across future series if we keep doing them? I feel like with the challenges, we were like, oh, that'd be a cool, fun thing to add on. And then a lot of the feedback we've been getting is, we love the episodes, can't wait to see how the challenges pan out. Would love to see more of how you're making the challenges. Make sure you highlight what videos are the challenges. And we've started to think, oh, the challenges are a thing that people want to see. Maybe we're actually going to have to do them. So we've started doing them now.
We almost scrapped them. I think the first episode, when we recorded episode 2, we were like, challenges is a little cheesy. We shouldn't do that. And now it's like the most popular thing on the podcast.
It's the thing that keeps getting mentioned, yeah. So as we keep pushing these, what would you like to get from them?
I don't think I would like to be constantly pushed out of my comfort zone necessarily. I don't think that's necessary. But it would be nice to reconnect with the original things that we started doing this for, like the sort of recording outside, recording in places that are unique. That was, in the end, I'm glad I did it. But I don't know, just I think to be reminded of why we do this would be a good mindset to have for these challenges, to maybe tap into some things that we used to do. But also, a lot of the reason we started this podcast is to try and reconnect with our original audience. So some of the challenges will be social media driven. They'll be to try and reconnect with people. So I don't know. To answer your question, Matt, I have no fucking clue.
No. I think
I
agree with you about like.
Please give us a better answer than I did.
I think you gave a good answer really at the heart of it. It's reconnecting with why we do this in the first place. And if we do a challenge because we're going to post it on social media, it doesn't mean that that's all we get out of it. We can get I got so much more out of bringing my guitar up that hill to that amphitheater. The amphitheater video won't be the video because it didn't turn out very well. But it's the moment. It's like this thing. Like for the rest of my life, I will remember performing in that amphitheater. And I think if you just don't if you don't do the thing that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, then you don't know what you're missing. And I think there'll be moments like that for you along this journey as well, and hopefully more like that for me as well. So I do think it's nice to like, I would hate to get to a point where it's like, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here, where it's like, oh no, Greg, you're going to eat a kangaroo penis while you sing a song. Like, it's not that. It's not that. It's not like, let's make each other uncomfortable on purpose. But it's like, oh, let's try something that makes us mildly uncomfortable, maybe, just because.
Yeah, but that could have a good positive experience on top of it.
Yeah.
A lot of the time we're doing something so that we can film it. We're doing something so that we can share it. We're not just doing something anymore. And I'll speak for myself. I'm not going to tell you all that you're doing that, but I forget sometimes to actually live in the moment. And, Matt went to do this video in an attempt to get more views on an Instagram video. And in the end had an amazing life experience. And even if that video only gets a couple of hundred views, God, even if it went viral, I'm sure the biggest takeaway for you would be that experience that you had in the moment and not the end result on the fucking internet, Yeah. And I think that's the important lesson there is just, we're not doing this for the internet.
We never were.
We're doing it to try and connect with people, but we're not doing it to get views or comments or likes. It's a life thing.
We're definitely not supposed to be doing it for the internet, but for a while, I feel like I've had moments of forgetting that. And making things, thinking that, if I make it like that, then that will go viral and then that will have this impact. And I don't necessarily want to go viral. Like, what do I actually want? I want to write songs, keep making songs, be able to make the next album, and the album after that. And when I tour it, have 500, 1,000, 2,000 people in the room in every city waiting to hear it and to connect with me. Like, that's what I want. Everything else is just fluff on the way. And I think it's so easy to get distracted by the things that might get you there. And yeah, we've talked about this before. It's kind of like, what's the point of going viral? You don't want to go viral for the wrong reasons. The only point is to reach more fans. We've been told that's the way. But I think as we go out and connect more and more, we might realize that there's a much better way, a real world way. It's so strange to think that every way that we're told right now is online.
Yeah.
There just isn't really a real world way anymore. And there definitely is, but nobody's talking about it. Maybe that might ironically be where we end up spending more of our time again. I think it's where we should be spending more of our time again.
I agree.